Imagine a situation where we want to correct something on our old texture, or we painted something on the original texture, but we can't go back because we're pressing Ctrl Z too many times, and we are left with something we don't want. Layers are coming to the rescue. Maybe it's not that intuitive as in Painter, but we can paint the details on the other texture, and to do that, let's click on the texture slots and add a new, let's say, base color. And the trick here is to change the alpha value to 0, so we can use it for a mix factor between our textures. So let's do it and add the texture. We don't see it now, so we need to go to the shader editor and mix it with the existing image using the alpha value. And now we can paint non-distractively. So let's quickly create another texture, name it glass, and change the alpha to 0. And now we'll go to the shader editor and mix it with the existing texture with the alpha factor. I will paint a circle somewhere on the handle and go back to the shader editor and use the alpha to make the circle glossy. So I will take an invert colored node and plug the alpha to it and then connect it to the roughness. I will also take just the alpha value and plug it to the transmission wave, and we see that it's transmissive and glossy. You can add as many layers as you want. It is a bit tedious though, especially with complex models, so if you want to have a roughness map, sometimes it's easier to use a texture that is already painted and use a color ramp to adjust the levels and connect it to the roughness. Another useful thing is that we can paint procedural textures too. Let's create another texture, call it steel, change the alpha, and add another mix node in the shader editor. But now we'll use just the alpha value for the factor, and we'll use the second slot for a procedural texture, for example, wave texture. Ctrl T to change coordinates to object, and now I will change some options in the wave texture. The scale to 160, distortion to 15, and the wave profile to saw. Now I will select the still texture in the shader editor and decrease the strength of the brush to 0.1, and we can paint on the hammer's head. This way we easily created a Damascus steel detail. And maybe we want to make a blue Damascus steel. Let's add another mix color node and connect it to the wave texture and plug the color of the steel texture to the second slot of the mix node and alpha of the steel texture to the factor. Now we can just select a color we want and it will paint with it. And if we don't like what we just painted, we can select the erase alpha with strength set to 1 and just remove it. So as you can see, layers are quite useful. I think we know enough to texture the binoculars from start to finish.